Okay, hey guys, to start off chapter 6, we're going to be talking about percents. And to start it off, they're going to show you the difference between a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. They all work together. They are a thing because really all a percent is a part over a whole. Part over a whole is a fraction, correct? So let's just say we have 5. Let's say we have 5 out of 8. Okay, so that is my fraction. So then I get out my trusty calculator and I put 5 divided by 8. The 5 goes first top trap. So this is the top, so it goes into my calculator first. 5 divided by 8 gives me 0.625. Okay, so last year we learned how to convert fractions to decimals. You probably learned that for a couple of years now. Okay, but now we're going to use that to create a percent, okay? So percent comes from the word, the root word cent, which means 100. Okay, so percent, sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my pen here. Percent means per 100 or divided by 100. So now that we've figured out that 0.625 per 100, okay, so if we're going from a decimal, to a percent, okay, then we're going to move the decimal to the right. If we're coming from the percent to the decimal, we're going to go, oh, that would be the other way around. Okay, but you get the idea. So you go, let me see. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to erase that because that is incorrect, and we don't like incorrect. I wanted it to be left. Okay, but anyway, if you're coming from a percent, it goes left from the percent to the decimal. What I mean, I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so anyway, so all I'm going to do is move it 2 places for the 2 zeros. So I'm going to multiply this by 100, and I'm going to get 62.5%. Okay, so 5 over 8, 5 out of 8 is another way of saying it. So, let's say you have 8 friends, and 5 of them want to go to the movies. Well, 62.5% of your friends want to go to the movies. All right, so let's do another one. Okay, so what if we have, let's say we have 20 of the students out of the 35 want to go outside when it is 25 degrees. All right, I feel like this happens. Let's go outside, and then 20 out of the 35 kids. Well, this is when we had our big class. So anyway, you divide 20 divided by 35, and you get 0.83 repeating. Now let's round that to the nearest tenth, okay? So how do I round that to the nearest tenth? Well, this is technically 0.833, and we don't need any more threes, but let's do one more, 3. And then we're going to move the decimal. Let's change colors. So in here we moved it twice. Here we're going to move it twice again. So we get 80, round to the nearest tenth. So that means the 10th place is the last place I want to see, which is right here. I looked over here and realized that was 4 or less, so I let it rest at 0.3. I will say that I'm seeing a lot of students who don't fully understand rounding, and if that's you, come get help. I don't have time to put that into this video. Somewhere along the line, we just aren't confident. So make sure you're confident with how to round. It's important. Okay, so then let's say we have, what if we reverse this one, and it's 8 out of 5, okay? So if I divide 8 out of 5, that's why it's so important to remember first top trap. Okay, the top number, the first number, 8 divided by 5. This is the first, this is the top. That goes in the trap, right? So if you don't have a calculator, you would have to figure this out like this. But it also goes in your calculator first. So whereas this one, the 5 went into the calculator first, and this one, the 8 goes into the calculator first. I should also recognize ahead of time that this is an improper fraction with the larger number on top. So I should expect something greater than 1. So 1, by the way, 1.0, move the decimal 2 places, is 100%. So 1 is 100%. So anything over 100 is greater. Anything over 1 is over 100%. So in fact, this one is 1.6, which equals, let's get out our red, which equals this. You put the 0 in the hoopy thing, and as I like to say, 160%. Okay, so if 1 is 100%, well, what's 2? Here, let me change this to red so it's less confusing if you're taking screenshots. Okay, so 2, what's 2? Well, we go 1, 2, put the zeros in the hoopy things, and 2 is 200%, right? So if someone says there's 2 times as many people today as there were yesterday, or better yet, yesterday there were 8, today there are 16. So 16 over 8, 16 divided by 8 is 2, correct? Hopefully you agree. So that is 200%. Last section, 5.6, we did a scale model. Hopefully you watched that video. We did a scale model where the scale factor was 1 to 120. And we figured out that meant that it was 120 times bigger. So what percent, how much bigger is that as a percent? Well, 120 is, is 12,000%. So 120 equals 12,000%. So it is 12,000% bigger. So that should, okay, so let's review really quickly. If you get it, great. If not, let's do a quick review. Percent means per 100, okay? So we're going to be moving decimals to the right and to the left, depending on if we're coming from a decimal to a percent, or going from a decimal, like we've been doing this whole time, to a percent. Like I've divided my fraction, I get a decimal, I move it 2 places to the right to figure out the percent. Now, if I have the percent and want to know the decimal, I go the opposite direction, divided by 100. Okay, let's see. And then anything over, so if the part over the whole the part is smaller, we're going to end up with a fraction that is less than 1. If the part is greater than the whole, then we're going to end up with something that is greater than 100%. 1.0 or 1 is 100%, 2 is 200%, 120 times bigger is 12,000%. Look for simple things like 16 divided by 8. Well, that is 2. We know that. So that is 200%. We could do that without even using our calculator if we remember to divide. All right, hopefully this was useful. Thanks, guys.